So, welcome to another video. This video is another demonstration project for CS50 Web. This time it's for auction project. So I'll just show you how it works. First thing I want to say is that first thing we had to do was were three models for this project. So listings, bids, and comments. These were mandatory and I can't show you them due to course policy, but I did them, and I also did one other model which is categories. Then another thing I have to show you is active listings page. So when you go inside some user, when you log in as a user, you can either create account or log in. I already pre-made some data just to show you how this app works. So you can see these are all my active listings. We have few listings that are no longer active due to my testing, but this is the first page you have to see. So it's index.html. You have to see your listings with title, current price, and just some description that it has. And I also added creative time just to display that. When we go inside of some page, we can see some details, but first I want to show you create listing option. So when you go and you want to create a listing, we'll create this Speedmaster. So we can copy this title, we can copy this description, for example. We can also copy this image. So I don't know, starting bid, it's 14,131, 14. And it's jewelry. So create listing. So it's down at the bottom. I have to change that in my code, but it's down at the bottom. And when you go to your listing page, now you can see a lot of things. So we have watch list, we have bids, we have comments, and since this test user is the owner of that article, he can close it. So I'll go to my other user, for example, to my Martin user, and we will go to Omega Speedmaster. So as you can see, we can add it to our watch list. When we add things to our watch list navbar item displays more items. So I just added them to kind of display that you can see a number. So if we go again to our Speedmaster, we can place a bid. So for example, it's 14,131, and if I, for example, 14,100, so place a bid. You must place a bid as large. So okay, I'll place another bid, so you can see no bids yet. So let's go 14,135, for example, place a bid. So your bid was placed successfully. One bid's highest from Martin. But let's also say that my friend Philip wants to own that Speedmaster as well. So we can add it to our watch list. And okay, so he now sees that this is the starting bid, this is the current price. Okay, so we can go 14,140. So place a bid. Bid was placed successfully. Two bids, highest from Martin. And let's say that he places a comment, I want this watch. So now you can see Philip at that time placed this comment. Okay, so let's go back to our Martin user. And let's go back to our item. And now Martin can see that comment and he can say, for example, no, I'll have it. Again, you can see the top comment, so this order is actually good. And let's say, so now he can see two bids, highest from Philip, and I just say he places another 14,200. Let's say place a bid, and now three bids, highest is Martin. So if we go back to our test user, just to show you this functionality, if we go back to our test user and go to this, now we can close auction. So if we close auction, you can see auction closed, winner Martin. And down at the bottom, you can see auction won by Martin for this price. Okay, if you go back to, let's say, our Philip user, and we can see that auction item, because we have it in our watch list. You can see that the auction won by Martin for 14,200. But if we go to our Martin user, you can see again in our watch list, you can see that it says congratulations, you won this auction. So this is something you had to implement to display a winner, and comments is something that I showed you. So if we go to our watch list, as you can see, we can add and remove things for our watch list. So example, I don't want this MacBook Air M3, remove it from watch list. Item removed from watch list, you can see the number is 3. So for example, I don't want this iPhone 13, remove that from my watch list. And I don't want this Casio watch because I just bought a Speedmaster, so remove that. So now I just have one item which I bought. And another thing you can see is categories. So inside categories, we have all categories that are possible. And I made this app so that only admin can create categories. So when we go to, I don't know, jewelry, for example, you can see that it displays only active items in that category. And we can go to that link, so it will take us to this link, or we can go back to categories to choose something else. For example, electronics, you have iPhone 13, MacBook M3. When you go to all listings, so for example, we have one for mothers and one for fashion. So if we go back to our categories, we go to fashion, you can see this jacket, and we go to mothers, you can see this Ferrari. Anything else, I just didn't add items, so there's that. And last thing I have to show you is my admin side of the things. So if I go and log in with this admin user, so you can see we have bids, you can see all of the bids, we have categories, so only admin can add another category. For example, I don't know, garden. So now garden is new category inside of our auction project. But that's it. This is again shorter video, but I just had to show how my auction project works inside of the CS50 web. This is it for today. See you in the next one.